Greetings, programs. Welcome back to ArcNeo Reviews. Yes, no hiding what we're talking about since, thumbnails and titles and crap. But, yeah, today, thanks to a buddy of mine, we are going to be looking at the Jurassic Park Transformers crossover set. And I am very, very excited to talk about this. I grew up... I didn't really have Transformers when I grew up. I had Jurassic Park toys. So sitting here having literally both at the same time is a very strangely big deal to me. So here we have Tyrannicon Rex and JP93. Not the best names, but we're not here for the names. We're here for what they are. We're going to look at Tyrannicon first, because Tyrannicon is just a repaint of the Kingdom Megatron. I'm not going to be handling any transformation stuff, not even in a side video. If you want to know how to transform this, go look up this guy's video. I'll leave a link to it up in the card here and in the description down below. Just because I can. But yeah, no, here we have Tyrannicon all done up. It's a Beast Wars Megatron painted up to look incredibly like the famous, Jurassic Park, Rexy, I believe is what they called her, more or less officially. This is, I cannot get over how well done this paint job is. This thing looks incredible. I love the face on it. My lighting does not like the face on it, but that is such a good look. You've got nice, really good paint on the inside. The roof of the mouth is black instead of, that color or anything, but the fade in the colors, the transitions. This paint job on this Rex is like, it is completely on par with the actual Mattel, Amber Collection dinosaurs that they're putting out for Jurassic World. Which, yes, think about what's going on here. Mattel has the toy license for the Jurassic series. Somehow Hasbro and Mattel apparently are working together for this. That's kind of ridiculous, actually, which probably also explains the price. This is a rather expensive set, because for what costs about $110, $120, roughly around there, retail, you're getting $70 worth of figure. So you're getting like $40 to $50 of just licensing markup, which, with the fact that it's like competing companies somehow working together, I can kind of understand part of what's going on there. It's annoying, but it is what it is. I do feel we got something really spectacular. But yeah, all the posability and stuff is exactly the same as the Megatron figure. Looks great. I love this figure. There are a couple QC issues I got on this copy that actually only affect the robot mode, which I'm strangely okay with, because yes, this is a Transformer. This thing is such a stunning T-Rex, I'm actually pretty happy to just leave it as a T-Rex doing this, and I'm sure I could fix the QC issues. We'll get to those when we get to that, but for now, let's go ahead and take a look at JP93. So, as you can see, we've got a nice, proper Jurassic Park. I want to say this was I know it's a Ford, because the box actually had like a Ford logo on it. I think this is a... Oh, you know what? It's even back here. They molded it very well. It's a Ford Explorer. Ha! There we go. Yeah, this is both absolutely fantastic and not, which is a little bit weird to say. The car mode looks absolutely incredible. The amount of detail on this is great. The clear plastic is a little worrying because most of this car is painted clear plastic, which means, you do want to make sure over time you don't get this thing, too scuffed up. But it still is nice that because of the clear plastic, you've got, the sunroof going on, and, it looks, the degree of which this thing looks the part is absolutely unreal. It does store the weapon down here on the bottom. There's a little tab right there. Slots into the side of the gun that doesn't want to focus. The gun actually has a nice, just kind of straightforward shotgun detailing to it, which is really nice. And then this little bit on top is a second storage peg. So if you want, you can peg the gun up top here for a, armed vehicle mode. There are 2 of those top pegs. And this one is not, the most secure fit. So it almost seems like this is a fan thing. I think it might be that, or they just, at the last second realized they could do that, so they went with it. Yeah, I do recommend tabbing it here on the bottom. It does very well down there. But let's go ahead and get this guy transformed. Transformation is pretty straightforward. Go ahead and start by pull the doors ever so slightly down just to get clearance on that little tab and open them up. And that should give you just enough clearance. Start wiggling free this section here. Just get it up and out of the way. Come to the back of the vehicle. Spin it all the way down like that. Take these sections here. And yes, you can do all of this while it's still connected. It's actually a little easier. You're going to fold these down, and it's clear plastic, and this is actually the part of longevity I'm the most worried about, to be honest. But you're going to fold these all the way down, and then they actually have a little bit of a stopping point here that you have to force them past. I know it's just holding them down so that they... Here, let's go ahead and split the legs now. I know that that's there to keep, the bottom of the foot in place. But I still don't like just how harsh that is because, as you can see there, you've got basically a full 90-degree angle that you're just forcing, clear plastic on clear plastic. That part worries me a little bit, but it's not extreme enough. I think it's going to really be a problem, but just keep an eye on it. If yours is especially tight, maybe take in, a hobby knife and, just scratch right there a couple times to make that a little bit less, harsh. Anyway, though, go ahead, come up here, kind of grab the wheels, start rotating them out, which will fold out the arms. Then bring those all the way around, and they will, not very loudly, but they will click into place there. Then fold down the chest, which will open this flap up as you go by, so to let the head through. Once it does that, just go ahead and push that back down. Bring the arms in place. Come in here and fold out the hands, which click into place. And finally, come back here. You've got a little slot here in this strut hanging off the back. There is a very long tab right there. Let's go ahead and bring that up and peg that in. And there you have JP93 in his robot mode. And here, let's go ahead and... Can I force the zoom a little bit? There we go. That's better. Yeah, the way I have to use my tripod nowadays, it's actually a little farther back than it used to be. Sorry. But, yeah, in terms of looks, this figure is awesome. In terms of posability, it's a little bit lacking. Mainly in that there's no waist swivel here. I'll move this so you can see, there's a bunch of weird hollow spots here in the back. You got figure stand, port in his butt, as you usually do. There's no waist swivel. There is no reason they could not put in a mushroom peg right there and give this figure a waist swivel. The waist swivel thing aside, yeah, you can adjust the doors a little bit, which is always a nice touch. I just knocked this loose. Get back in there. But you can adjust those. The head is on a ball joint, but you don't get very much up and down. It's mostly for rotation. Not much tilt either. But, it works. I do really, really like that head sculpt. The, molded on hat, just this thing reeks of clever girl energy. I can't think of what the character's name in the movie was, but this is very clearly Mr. Clever Girl. The head is, I believe, light piped, that or they just used a black light pipe crystal. It's honestly hard to tell. Depending on how many times I've hit it with flashlights and stuff, sometimes it looks like I'm getting a little bit. Sometimes I think I'm just getting a reflection. I'm not sure. Either way, he's got really cool looking sunglasses. I'm not going to complain. Universals here in the shoulders, so you get full rotation, moves out all the way. No bicep swivel, but the elbow is a ball joint, so that, you get the same effect. That's not too big of a deal. You get a little bit past 90 degrees of bend, which is nice even. Nothing really at the wrist except bending back in. As previously mentioned, nothing at the waist. Ball joint at the hips, so it can kick forward, can kick back. I do appreciate that the backpack sits high enough to let the legs still go back basically all the way. More or less the full splits. You do have a very tight thigh rotation in there, but it's nice to have the thigh rotation. Very, very deep knee bend because of transformation. Knees can also go the other way if you want them to, and pinch the crap out of your finger like I just did. And he does have, a bit of ankle tilt here. And it's nice that there is even, a bit of extra right there to keep the leg from looking just completely broken if you use the tilt. So overall, this guy could have had some more posability, especially with the price that they're asking for this. Part of me wonders if this is an older, unreleased mold that they tweaked the car mode and then made it this. It definitely feels like it. It's still not bad, though. It's strange that it is lacking modern articulation, but it still does the job just fine. So let's do this. Go ahead and zoom back out. Because now we get to the one that's a tiny bit weird to talk about, actually. That is Tyranicon. Tyranicon seems to be 99% actually an improvement over Megatron. If you go watch the Megatron video, you'll know I had a really hard time getting these hips to, snap in and do all the stuff they're supposed to do. This version of the mold seems to work much better. It's still a nice tight fit, but it holds great. All the joints on the robot mode here are stronger than Megatron's seem to have been. A lot of people I've talked to are having the same thing, where this guy just feels a lot better than Megatron did. And even these little flaps here that were such a hassle on Megatron, they molded this part ever so slightly smaller. So now transformation, folding this piece back, no issue whatsoever. However, here's where we get the QC issue on mine. It's a little bit of a bummer because it's actually on the head. Let's go ahead and come on. Tripod doesn't like to let the camera rotate up. Yeah, the head. Love this head sculpt, by the way. The ball peg that it's on is a little bit misshapen on mine. This does seem to be a me issue, but you'll notice actually as I put it here, it keeps popping back. I have to move it all the way over for it to actually stay put. So, it's a little misshapen. It only likes to go at certain angles. And then if I go up too much, now it's basically popped off. Granted, I don't think you'd ever pose the head looking that far up anyway. As long as it's like around there, it works fine. But it's still kind of weird that, it's a ball joint that's so deformed on here. Again, I'm sure I can fix it. It's not too big of a deal, but it is kind of lame. But at the same time, this set has some people like losing their minds over it on Amazon, like just horrible reviews about how cheap and terrible it is. I'm going to defend it here, even with my bit of QC issue on this head, as well as the fact that I can't really get to it easily, but one of these little pieces of dino skin that pegs into the skeleton underneath from the factory, it wasn't actually plugged in all the way, and good lord, it's almost impossible to actually get those plugged in. But that aside, these are not like cheap, shoddily made figures. Yes, you have some of the standard Hasbro quality control issues, but these are far from bad by any means. So, I feel like the people who are complaining about these things, they looked at the price and they assumed it's somehow going to be better than normal. Which, granted, it probably should be, but that's just not how it works, okay? Like, that's not what happens. Should it happen? Yes. Does it? No. And these are perfectly serviceable, standard release Transformers with a price hike because of licensing, and like I've said, I think probably a double price hike because of Mattel as well as Hasbro. So, there's reasons to speculate on about, why this costs what it does. I know I didn't really go over, posability on Tyranicon. Again, look at the Megatron video. The head sculpt is the only difference here. But like I said, the transformation does actually seem to work a little better. They have, they've actually improved this mold, I feel. Because on the whole, I'm hearing a lot of people, again, better experience with that weird hip transformation, better experience with these flaps here on the side. A peg wasn't pegged in all the way from the factory. That happens. I can deal with that. The only complaint I have is the ball joint on the head. I can fix that too. It really isn't that big of a deal. So, overall, if you're like me and you love Transformers as well as Jurassic Park, this is a big recommendation from me. Yes, it's a little extra. You might want to find a way to, get a discount, get a coupon, go use Bing Rewards. You can literally earn free Amazon gift cards legally from Microsoft on there. Use the Brave browser like I showed in a video of mine and get some free cryptocurrency to convert into actual money. You can get yourself a discount on these very, very easily if you want to. And I do think at the end of the day, they are worth getting because these still both look incredible. And I do like them. I feel that their positives here vastly outweigh, a missing joint and a messed up ball peg. So, as usual, take this stuff for what you will. As always, as well, thank you guys for watching. I will see you next time.